Kentucky Congressman Thomas Massie is backing the effort to remove the Speaker's gavel from Mike Johnson. In a post on the social media site X, Congressman Massie wrote, "I just told Mike Johnson in conference that I'm co-sponsoring the motion to vacate that was introduced by Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene."
From now on, Steve, we're only going to allow Republican leaders that understand the Republican agenda for this country is America first, not America last. And that's why Speaker Johnson needs to resign.
I am not resigning, and it is, in my view, an absurd notion that someone would bring a vacate motion when we are simply here trying to do our jobs.
We need a speaker who is not doing everything Chuck Schumer wants.
But a consensus or moderate Republican might have to do that. Maybe
Might have to do that?
Keep this wall open.
There's only one person right now who can stop us from going into what happened last fall, and that's Mike Johnson. He's cleaning the barn, that's obvious. He had three things to do. He wanted to do an omnibus that broke all the spending records. He wanted to do FISA without warrants, and now he wants to do Ukraine. Those are the three things. There are people riding him like a horse here. They don't care when the horse collapses. I do, because it's going to throw our confidence into turmoil. If he would do what John Boehner did, when John Boehner had at least announced that he was cleaning the barn and said, I'm leaving, whatever it was, 8 weeks hence, or when you find somebody to replace me. If Speaker Johnson would do that, we could go without ever being speakerless, and we could be in control of it in the conference. But I'm afraid he is dead set, and the people who are pushing him are dead set on riding that horse until it collapses.
Congressman, can you clarify exactly?
You wanted to resign?
What
Yes. Yeah, I asked him to resign.
When did you ask him to?
He said he would not. And then I said, well, you're the one who's going to put us into this. Because the motion is going to get called, okay? Does anybody doubt that? The motion will get called, and then he's going to lose more votes than Kevin McCarthy. And I have told him this in private, like weeks ago.
So, I mean,
When did you ask him to resign?
yeah, when did you ask
Right in there.
Just today.
So, Congressman, help us understand that he's not resigning. Are then you going to push a motion to vacate this week?
No, I'm not going to call the motion to vacate. But I will tell you that if it is called, there will be a lot of people who vote for it.
How does this help? How does a motion to vacate against Speaker Johnson help the country?
He, some would say we'd be rudderless, but we have a rudder. We're steering everything toward what Chuck Schumer wants. There has not been a change. I mean, if the country likes Chuck Schumer, then they should like what Speaker Johnson's accomplished in the House.
Divided.
Who would be their successor here?
Hey, there's no shortage of people in that room.
Yeah, but we went through this last fall. It took us 22 days.
And then we ended up with some guy nobody in America ever heard of, right?
So you're
There's always somebody.
But are you willing to do that again, I guess?
No, I'm trying to prevent that, right? Remember, let's start back at the beginning. If somebody calls a motion to vacate on the floor, then and it succeeds, which it will, now you have no speaker. And then you have a temporary speaker, and it's a hot mess. If, like when Boehner left, Speaker Johnson would announce that he is leaving as soon as we get another speaker, and that we can commence finding that person, or at a certain date certain in the future he will leave, then we still have a speaker. We have Speaker Johnson, who can pass all these wonderful messaging bills, do the things that we do. We can have subpoenas, the committees can still meet, and we don't have what happened last fall. He is the only one that can put us on that path right now.
And what if Democrats?
What is your motion to vacate conditional on anything? What would Johnson have to do? Would it be changing parts of this legislation, adding border security? Is it conditional to anything, or will it just happen?
I have no red lines. It's regardless of what I want, it's going to happen. And when it does happen, it's going to pass. The motion to vacate will pass. And so, is there something he could do now? I don't know, possibly. But right now, he's talking about some rule that 20 people are already pre-announced they're voting against. Like maybe a dozen people.
What if Democrats come to save him here?
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
There are many of your Republican colleagues.
And by the way, they would have to save him in the motion to vacate on the floor. He can prevent all of that by resigning.
Why are you so confident that he would lose that vote?
The motion to vacate
Yeah.
vote, because I've talked to people, and I've also talked to people out in America, and they've seen, number one, he spent more in the omnibus than Nancy Pelosi spent. He's violated the 72-hour rule. He reauthorized warrantless spying, in fact, expanded that program, and now he's going for the Kentucky Derby's May 4th. I got to use an analogy here. He's going for the trifecta, the Triple Crown. He is going to pass the Ukraine bill that most Republicans in America are against.
Why not call
There
it
are
up and make
many-
it privileged right now?
Oh, you're late to the discussion.
There are many of your Republican colleagues, including those in the Freedom Caucus, who just came out from this meeting frustrated, angry, because they don't want to relive what you all had to go through in October. And I understand your reasoning,
Right.
saying that you may be able to find a conservative speaker. But even those members, even Freedom Caucus says it's unlikely any of you all will be able to agree and find.
That's a long
conservative
question.
Republican.
That's a long question. Which part of it do you want me to answer? Because I didn't say anything about a conservative speaker.
So then, who are you looking for?
We need a speaker who is not doing everything Chuck Schumer wants.
But a consensus or moderate Republican might have to do that. Maybe
Might have to do that?
If a
No,
moderate
I think the
Republican
only way
elected or a
that Chuck-
consensus one
I think
would
the only way
rely
that-
on Democrats too.
I think the only way that Chuck Schumer gets the message that he can't roll every speaker we send over there is every speaker he rolls is no longer speaker.
What is your response to Republicans who say this move should cost you your job and that if you don't resign, they will try to oust you?
I am not resigning, and it is, in my view, an absurd notion that someone would bring a vacate motion when we are simply here trying to do our jobs. It is not helpful to the cause. It is not helpful to the country. It does not help the House Republicans advance our agenda, which is in the best interest of the American people here, a secure border, sound governance. And it's not helpful to the unity that we have in the body. Look, we have a very important mission here. Our mission is very clear. The reason most of us, I can speak for the House Republicans, the reason every House Republican ran for Congress is that because they wanted to come here and help to save this beleaguered republic of ours. We want to save the country. We believe that we're in an existential moment. We really do. This is a civilizational moment. It's a moment where we're going to decide in this election cycle which vision we have for the country. See, we believe, and y'all have heard me say before, we believe in the founding principles, the foundations of America, things like individual freedom and limited government and the rule of law and peace through strength and fiscal responsibility and free markets and human dignity, the foundational, the anchor points that make us the exceptional nation that we are. And right now we're in a political struggle, a battle between a completely different vision for the country. We have colleagues in the Congress who envision for us not those things. They have disdain for those things I just listed. They instead envision that America should be remade in the form of some sort of, European-style socialist utopia. That is a dangerous fool's errand. That is a road to Marxism, communism, socialism. That's a step towards those eventualities, and that is not who we are as a country. And so for us to accomplish our mission, which is to save the republic, we need to add more Republicans to the House and grow the House majority so we have more votes. We need to win back the Republican majority in the Senate, and we need to restore Donald J. Trump to the White House as our nominee. I believe all those things will happen, but we have to have a united front, and we have to have our members work together. And we'll be working today to do that very thing. Look, we're in unprecedented times, okay? We're in dangerous times, as has been articulated here, around the world, and here at home. We need steady leadership. We need steady hands at the wheel. I regard myself as a wartime speaker. I mean, in a literal sense, we are. I knew that when I took the gavel. I didn't anticipate that this would be an easy path. Former Speaker Newt Gingrich posted a couple days ago on his social media that this is the hardest challenge that's faced a speaker probably in the history of the country, in the moment that we're in right now. He said arguably may be comparable to the Civil War, but maybe worse. A single vote margin at a difficult time when the nation is terribly divided. The way we get through that is we show unity and we explain how we have answers to all these great challenges. We have those answers. We shouldn't get in the way of ourselves.
Mr. Speaker.
We're gonna work this out today, and we'll have a lot more comment for you today, for you later. But I'm going to tell you that I am not concerned about this. I am going to do my job, and I think that's what the American people.
Is there any upside to
Right now, we have a Republican elected Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, who ran through Joe Biden's agenda, fully funded the Department of Justice, which has 91 federal indictments against President Trump, fully funded the FBI, which raided Mar-a-Lago, and he gave the FBI a brand new building. And even more than that, he fully funded Joe Biden's illegal invasion by fully funding the open border policies that the Biden administration has implemented. Now he has passed through FISA, and he stopped the warrant requirement with his own vote, the deciding vote. Now he's pushing for billions of dollars to go to Ukraine, with a lot of dirty tricks happening here with this bill package that they're ramming and putting together and trying to trick Republicans to vote for with the Israeli aid package. So we're not going to allow that. From now on, Steve, we're only going to allow Republican leaders that understand the Republican agenda for this country is America first, not America last. And that's why Speaker Johnson needs to resign. He needs to do the right thing, and we need time to elect a new Speaker of the House.
I'll tell you who did notice, the Cookie Monster.